Let's go.
Oh,
Hello.
what is up?
How is
What is
every
up?
how are you guys today? Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody around the world. I am your favorite neighborhood beard bro, Mr. Kennedy, and I am joined once again by the beautiful, illustrious, smart and laid back Kelsey Fearless. And
Thank you, Ken.
ha-
Thank you, Ken.
happy Mother's Day to every good mother out
Oh,
there.
yes.
And
Yes. Happy Mother's Day.
I
Happy
hope
Mother's Day.
y'all enjoy y'all day and get all your presents and everything. How are you today,
It'll be
Kelsey?
good. Oh, I'm good. I'm going to go see my mother. I'm going to go see my mother today. Excited to do that. But otherwise, yeah, it's been good. My day's been good. It's kind of rainy. It's been sunny and rainy. It's been like that for like 2 months. But other than that, yeah, it's been good. Got some stuff done. How about you? How have you been, Ken?
Well, we had a hell of a thunderstorm the other night. I mean, late at night. I think it stormed from like midnight all the way until 4 o'clock. I mean, it was coming down out there.
Oh, really?
Yes. But everybody, welcome to episode 4 of the Hot Takes VG podcast. And we're gonna get things started here. I hope
Four.
everybody's having a good day. Before we start, I wanted to do a little bit more of announcements here. If you look up at the
Got
top
more
of my,
announcements.
yep, at the top of my screen now, on my stream, if you do see me, we are now on Samsung Podcast. We are on iHeartRadio, Spotify,
Oh my God, look at that.
Pandora, Spreaker. We are on
Oh man.
Amazon Music. So we're all over the place. There is no excuse why you can't listen to the podcast. If you can't catch it,
No.
the live stream, then you can catch it on all these audio platforms. It's audio only. But
I
yes,
don't want to hear a single excuse.
yeah, no
Not a
excuses.
single excuse.
If you don't
Not a
listen,
single.
Freddy Krueger is gonna enter your dreams and he's gonna eat all the food in your house.
Oh my God.
And there's nothing worse than an evil
That's
villain
cute.
that goes into your nightmares and then eats all the food in your house, man.
Oh, right. Right.
It's
Eats
like
all your food.
I was getting ready to eat that food, man. Like, what's up with that? I had my heart set on that sandwich. What's up, Freddy?
What's up, Freddy?
But
What's up, Freddy?
I hope everybody is doing good today. Let's get this show on the road. First off, I want to ask you a question, Kelsey, because
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that there is a every streamer has their own pet peeves. So I want to ask you something. What are your pet peeves as a viewer watching streamers?
My pet peeve as a viewer when you're quiet, when they don't talk. You don't talk for long periods of time. Like I that's my pet peeve. Like I'm a listener, I'm a lurker. For that's just it. I just need that's all I need. Like I need to have background noise where someone's actually talking. That's like my number one pet peeve. What is yours, Ken? What is yours?
I got a couple here. Like silence, you already named that one. Nobody wants to go in there. Like, what's the point of having a mic if you're not going to talk? So
Exactly.
that's
Exactly.
that's one. Bad audio is another. Now, I know I said before that it doesn't really matter if you know about audio mixing. You can pretty much clean up your audio. But nobody wants to go into a stream where you hear babies crying in the background or it sounds like you're
Oh God.
underwater, like loud noise.
Yeah.
Nobody want to hear that. That stuff make your ears
No,
bleed.
not at all. No. No, or they have like a TV on in the background.
And you can hear all of that stuff. You can hear the fan going. You
Yeah.
can hear somebody taking a shower in the background. I'm like, dude, you got to clean that up.
Yeah.
And
It's not even that bad. Like it's easy. It's easy. If you want to be lazy, be like me. I just use NVIDIA broadcast. Like it just cleans it up and then I just go in OBS and like change it. But yeah, it is easier than you think. Unless you're on a console. Like sorry. My
yeah,
condolences.
if
Trying to stream on console, my condolences.
if you're on console, you're pretty much out of luck. Sorry about that. But
Yeah.
with me, it's just I have my audio mixer here. I got my cloud lifter that's down there. And then I got a little bit of filters on OBS. That's why my audio sounds like so crisp and clean. I take
Yeah.
pride in that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Another pet peeve of mine. I know, people are limited with the things that they can do, but I really hate when you go to those streams and they're filming the TV of them playing the game.
Oh man. In this day and age.
I'm
In
like,
this day and age, I used to see that in YouTube in like 2000 what 6? When did YouTube start? 04, 06, one of those. Like that's in this day and age is like that's diabolical.
this
Like,
is like I'm not trying to focus on like if you playing like whatever game you're playing, nobody want to look at that jump from an angle, man. Like we got OBS, we got all kinds of streaming software. There's no excuse, brother or sister.
so funny.
And
So
then
funny. Yeah, it's so easy to just get like an adapter or a capture card for like everything.
and the thing is, like these consoles, the PS4, the Xbox One, the PS5, and all that, they are basically capture cards. So you can stream to
Yeah.
Twitch from the console. There's no excuse why you filming your screen, bro.
Yeah. There really isn't. The only time I can think about it is if like people are doing speedrun stuff on like classic games where having a CRT like makes a difference for input lag. You know what I mean? Like that's like I don't know.
Yeah, but
That it's different.
even with that, they have chords and stuff like that that
Well,
they,
yeah, I mean like the only reason you want to use like a CRT. You know what I mean? Like that's the only reason you want to use it, but they make capture cards for them.
yeah,
No excuse.
they got
No
all
excuse.
all of that stuff out there. And the final one that gets me, look, there's nothing wrong with being animated, but those people that are just
Oh,
overacting all the
way over the
time,
top.
just way over the top. Like you see some of these people, they get scared of stuff that's not even scary. I'm like, what the hell are you screaming so loud for? Come on, man. Like you trying too
Loud is
hard.
funny. That's all it is. Like loud is funny is all that's behind that.
And well, loud is hurting my damn head. That's all I'm thinking about. I'm like, you need to be screaming like that. Calm that stuff down.
Yeah.
But
I
yes.
guess I guess if you're entertaining 12-year-olds,
Yeah,
maybe. I
well,
feel like that's for like 12-year-olds.
now gamer rage is pretty funny though.
It is. Oh yeah, when it gets really crazy, when people are like breaking keyboards and stuff, that's that's funny. Like how could you get to that point? It's a game. Like what are you doing? Like don't quit video games, please. Please quit video games.
Well, there's only one video game that ever took me to that limit, and it's Double Dragon 3 for the Nintendo. That
Really?
game, oh my god,
What
that
did you
game.
break?
Well,
What did you break?
I head butted my console.
No, no way, no way. That's so funny. You headbutted your console?
Yeah, I
It
had.
made you that mad. How old were you?
Listen, I mean, Double
All right,
Dragon.
tell this story. Tell this story. I gotta hear this story. Tell this story, Ken.
Listen, Double
I gotta hear
Dragon.
this.
Double Dragon 3 is one of the most difficult games ever created on console, and
I know.
I haven't been able to get past the first level. I remember when I was a kid, like I was, in the range of like 9, 10 years old, and you can't get past that first level, and I just kept dying and dying. I was like, damn, this freaking headbutted the Nintendo. I was like, man,
Oh man.
now you can understand why I am the way I am. Probably because I caused myself head trauma.
Oh my god, I could even see the rage still on your face from that many years ago. Oh
Yeah.
man, that's so funny.
See, there's difficulty that we have now, and then there's Nintendo difficulty, and then there's arcade difficulty. Anybody who has ever been
Yep.
to an arcade, those games are evil. Mortal Kombat 2 drove me crazy. Oh my
They
God.
are evil. Oh,
You
they are evil.
designed to take your coins. That's what
Yeah,
arcades were.
exactly. 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 They're just as bad as like carnival games. You
Yeah.
know, like carnival games.
Well, I mean, I've mellowed out over the years because, headbutting a console is not really my forte anymore. But, when you see these people,
No.
it's funny, like when you watch like the Call of Duty videos, like I'm not a Call of Duty fan at all, but when you have the people that do the knife only, they get so mad. It's funny.
Oh, I know.
They call you all kinds of names in the book, man. I'm like, dude, it's a mechanic in the game. They're not cheating. And it's just always
Yeah.
fun. It's like that's why you suck at this game, man. Why you gotta go around knifing
Oh, I
people.
know. Oh, I know. The knife only. Like, come
Yeah.
on. Come on. Come on. It's not that bad.
And you mean to tell me
I
that
mean,
you've never raged at a game before?
no.
You had to think about that for a second.
I did because there's many times. I'm thinking like actual straight up like rage. I don't think so, no. But like I've become so angry at games that I've been perma tilted. It's like when I used to play the Final Fantasy MMO. I quit because I was perma tilted. I was playing so badly because I was so pissed off about how badly I was playing.
Mm,
But like it's because the new expansion pack completely nerfed my character. Like the class I was playing completely nerfed it. It became useless. And I've been playing that shit for like 4 years. And I had to quit because like I'd be trying to do everything and it's like great, okay, like I suck. Like I suck. So that's actually I quit that. Out of that, that's my rage. That's my rage. I probably got pissed off pretty badly from some of that.
got you. I mean, very rarely do games do that for me now. Like even on World War Z on Extreme, which is evil incarnate. I mean that
Yeah.
game it's evil when it's on Extreme, but I don't get pissed
Mhm.
off. I'm just like, that was bullshit, man.
No.
Come on.
No, exactly, exactly. I don't that's how I feel about doing difficulty modes, right? I just roll into them. Just
But it
go
is
for them.
but it is satisfying as all hell when you beat it.
Oh, is it ever? Is it ever?
I think
So
that
satisfying.
I think the closest you got to raging was like a Kumu mode in Evil Within.
I was thinking about that today. I was thinking about that today. Like I think like I feel like I have like Stockholm syndrome against the evil within because of Akumu. Like I fully believe that I have like Stockholm syndrome or something. Because like I love that game, but wow, that
Yeah,
actually like Akumu broke me in quite a few ways. Like I had to experience disappointment 776 times in a row.
yeah.
Like
That's crazy because a Kumu mode, like you got to be a champ to beat that. You are gonna die a lot if you don't know what the hell you doing. You are gonna die a lot.
no,
Who?
I had no idea.
Yep. But let's
I had no idea.
let's move on here. We need to talk about Nvidia for a
Yeah, let's
second
keep going.
because
Talk about what?
we need to talk about Nvidia's latest Intel
Oh yeah,
Raptor Lake
they're shit.
CPU issues. I know we talk about consoles a lot and their problems, but it wouldn't be fair if we didn't talk about PC as well too when they screw up. Now,
Yeah,
according
which is
to
easy.
I'm sorry.
Which is easy
Well,
at
yeah,
this point. You expect it now.
PC is king. It is what it is.
Exactly.
Even with its
Exactly.
flaws, PC is king. There's no going back once you switch. But
Nope.
anyways, coming from the source of Game Rant, specific systems with the Intel 13 and 14 Gen Core CPUs have been experiencing a lot of issues, stability issues, video memory errors, and crashes reported on the Intel Raptor Lake and the Lake refresh processors. NVIDIA is aware of this stuff. I mean, being aware and actually fixing it are two different things, but they do say that they're aware and that they are working on sending out updates to fix it. So if you have those types of processes with, and I'm talking about with gaming, I'm not talking about with anything else. Games like, the later games, of course, like what is it, Starfield, I think it's called.
Starfield, yeah.
Starfield, a lot of players are experiencing issues with that, like the game freezing on them, and it's the processor, and I'm like, come on now, like fix it.
Of course.
I would be pissed
There's
off.
and like that's janky when it's your CPU too. So janky, but like classic Nvidia. Every time, like everyone always says, like with their updates, like you're beta testing their updates. Even though I'm sure you can actually opt in for beta testing as well. But like it's just like it's so bad when a new game or something comes out and it's like being janky and you look it up and you look up like your card and that game and people say online like okay it works best on this update, this Nvidia update, right? Like it'll work best on this version, and then you have to wait and hope that eventually they're going to patch whatever is fucking this up. Like classic Nvidia, classic. They're going to break something 20 times before they fix it.
Yeah, like I don't even have Intel, I have AMD. So that's what I have.
Yeah.
Like I never really have issues with that.
Yeah.
I've never really had issues with Intel either, but no computer is perfect. But again, it goes back to the whole point of make sure your stuff works before you put it out there. Don't
Right?
just put it
They'll
out
just
there
update it.
and then update it and patch it. But then again, I also tell people this is the reason why I don't buy things on day one when they first come out, because they still got bugs. Like, remember when the PS3 came out and people were buying that? Oh, I'm so cool. The PS3 only had one cool chip in it and it had one cooling fan. So when people were seeing black smoke coming out of their PS3s, now you wasted like 500, $600 trying to be cool. I'm like, no, I'm gonna play the waiting game. I play the waiting game with everything.
Yeah.
I'm not buying nothing when it first come out.
Right? Exactly. Exactly.
But it's saying that you need to use the RAD game tools, which is a video game software created by Epic Games. It's just saying that you need to use that to update it to hopefully to get it to work. I hope that it does, because I feel bad for people. PCs are not cheap. Gaming laptops are not cheap, and it would be a pain in the ass to get something. All right, I'm a game on here, and then you can't even do nothing with it.
Yeah. Frig.
But yes,
Right?
you got to make sure that y'all look into that. If you're a PC gamer, please look into that. If you have these Intel Core processors, the Core i9 3900K, and then the i9 4900K. So just make sure that y'all look into that before y'all start gaming or even using OBS. Make sure that you use these tools, the RAD tools, to update and to run everything you need to get everything to work. So I just thought I would pass that on to you guys, let y'all know, so that there won't be no game fury out here, man.
No. Nvidia, do your thing. Eventually.
Yes. Since we're on video games, let's talk about video game movies for a second. Now for anybody that is a Sonic the Hedgehog fan and you like the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, then y'all would probably be pretty impressed to know that Keanu Reeves is going to be playing Shadow the Hedgehog in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. That's coming out. So that's going to be pretty hype. So you got Jim Carrey in there, and now you got Keanu Reeves.
Really?
Yeah, he's going to be playing Shadow the Hedgehog, which is like the antithesis of Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm so cool. I curse and I carry guns.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Every middle school boy knew someone who had a Shadow the Hedgehog phase.
Yep. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog was my brother's thing. My brother was a Sega kid. He loved Sonic the Hedgehog. I never cared. Like, I'm not saying it's bad, but I never cared about Sonic the Hedgehog, man.
You weren't a Sonic fan.
Nah,
No, you weren't a Sonic fan?
a Metroid kid.
Yeah. I wasn't really a Sonic fan either, actually.
Yeah, I was a Metroid kid. I was like playing Super Metroid, and when I did play Sega Genesis, I was playing Alter Beast, things like that. Now that was a cool game. Being able to turn into different beasts. Like in the first level, you turn into the werewolf. Like you get all buff. It's like power up, and then you freaking,
Power. Uh,
and then turn it into the
uh,
werewolf. And then the second level, you're a flying dragon. The third level, you're a bear. The fourth level, you're a tiger. It is just so cool,
right?
man. Yeah, I used to have
Right.
fun with that. Anyways, though, you're going to have to talk for a second because I got to run to the facilities. I'm going to say it the PG way.
Oh,
So I'm going
you're
to,
gonna go see the facilities. All right.
yeah,
Go
so
ahead. I'm gonna chat with the people.
I'll
And
be
see what the
right
people are
back.
up to. Yeah.
I will be right back,
Okay.
folks.
All right. All right. We will see you in a few, Ken. We will see you in a few. Let me just turn you on. Oh, okay. You got yourself. You got yourself. All right. I was gonna say, turn it off, Ken. Anyways, yeah, gotta hit up the facilities. If anyone needs to hit up the facilities. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. Hope everyone's doing well. We now have like changed it, so I will try to reply in comments, typing and stuff. But you grew up with the PS1. Yeah, I think my first one was an NES. I think I didn't actually have a PS1. I had a PS2. You're doing great. That's good. That's good. Appreciate y'all coming to hang out. Appreciate y'all coming to hang out. I guess I don't even really need to hide this because he hit himself on OBS. Anyway, 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 anyway. Yeah, Nvidia, frig. I have like a bone to pick with Nvidia, honestly. I have a bone to pick with Nvidia. I'm not gonna lie, just because of the amount of times I update something and then I have to completely completely fix everything else afterwards. Like it's a problem a lot when I stream sometimes. Is I'll update something and then it's like great. Like I have to do this, I have to do this, or especially I have that with Bluetooth. Who here wears wired headphones? Because I do not like wired headphones. Oh, look who wears wired headphones. What's up, Ken? What's up, Ken?
Wired headphones.
Yeah, you're wearing wired headphones. You're wearing wired headphones. What do you think about them?
These are good.
I have them muted. Yep.
These are good headphones. I really like these. These are studio quality headphones.
Oh
So,
yeah.
and the reason why I have to have wired because my audio mixer.
Oh yeah. Okay. And have it. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
they don't have the Bluetooth, so I can't really connect it like that. So I have to plug it
Yeah.
in. But these headphones are pretty good. Like they were I bought these and they have like the microphone that plugs in, so they're gaming headsets.
Yeah.
So I used to use this when I had console, but yeah, I have to plug it in into the mixer and everything. At least
Yeah.
until they release audio mixers that are Bluetooth. But even then,
Yeah. I use. Sorry. Go ahead.
if they had Bluetooth, I still would use cord because Bluetooth is kind of janky.
Yeah, it is kind of janky. I just like it because I don't want to wear I don't want to wear headphones. I started streaming with headphones, actual plug-in, but I like the freedom. I like the freedom of these.
Got you. I mean, if I had my choice, I would. But even on a PC like this, Bluetooth is a pain in the ass. I have Bluetooth headsets, but like I
Yeah.
said, when I do streaming, I have to be plugged into the mixer because I control everything, all the audio, even on the other laptop here and over there. I can pipe in stuff just with knobs and stuff like that. So like
It's necessary.
I can literally turn your stream up and you would be hearing yourself.
Yeah, see, you're gaining way more than you're losing, which is for me, it's just being able to move.
Yeah, that's true. But anyways though, so let's move on here. Okay. Now here's an honest question as a gaming fan that I need to know. Now my last question, remember when I asked why are we still getting video games that are locked at 30 frames and 60 frames per second? Here's another legit question. Why the hell are exclusive video games still a thing these days?
That's like a perfect question.
The fact that you have, and there's two games that come to mind, Stellar Blade and what's the other one? Rise of the Ronin. These are only exclusive to the PS5. Why do video game companies do that? You know, you would think you
I
want.
think they're trying to get rid of it.
I hope so, because you would think that these companies want more money instead of just releasing it exclusively on one console. I mean, you got people that don't like PlayStation, so they're missing out.
Yeah. I think it's just Sony just wants to own everything. Think they, you know what I mean? Like, I think Sony just wants to own everything. So, like, they don't want to have to share with, like, Microsoft, which is
Yeah.
what would happen if they, like, they'd have to deal with Microsoft. And I don't think they want to do that.
I find that funny because they don't want to share with Microsoft, even though when they release stuff on PC, it's Microsoft.
Right?
So I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
what?
don't think they want to strike deals.
It's like, what are they doing? Like, Steam, even though Steam is a thing, it's still Microsoft Windows.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe they just don't want them to make like a majority profit off it. So that's why they do it after. That would make sense. That would make sense. Maybe that's what they do. So they get all the first like sales themselves.
Yeah,
They're being greedy is what they're doing.
like I mean, I remember back in the day they had, they had timed exclusives. Like when Resident Evil 4 first came out, it was time exclusive on the GameCube. So
Yeah.
you had to play it on the GameCube first, and then they ported it to the PS2 and everything else after that. But I can understand that. But when I heard of Stellar Blade, I'm like, I want to play that, but I'm not gonna buy a PS5 to play that.
No. No, exactly. 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 And think like we get them now, but it's kind of like most of the games are coming to PC now after being like they're great games, but like they've been out so long. Like they've been out for years and they're finally coming to PC. And it's like, does anyone still really care about half of these games?
Sounds like the Nintendo Switch to me.
Yeah.
You remember you remember when I was streaming the Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light, Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris.
Yeah,
That
I remember.
I think that game came out in 2010. I think it came out, and the Nintendo Switch is just now getting those games. Talk about being behind on the times.
Just right, that is behind on the times. It's like heavily behind on the times.
That's what happens when you have old, antiquated hardware. It's ridiculous.
Right.
But yeah, I really
They
wish.
are so behind on the times.
Yeah, I mean, people are like, yo, what do I mean when I say Nintendo's the Apple of video games? Look at Apple. Apple takes so damn long to get features that Android has had for years. Looking at
know.
looking at the iPhones now, it took them all the way up to the iPhone 15 to finally give us Type-C charging.
I know. I know. And there's a lot of features that I'll see people with iPhones like being like all excited about, and I'm like, man, because I'm Android, and I'm like, man, like my phone's had those features for like 5 years.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and it's like they do that. Look at the new iPad. I think it's the iPad Air. It's still running at 60 hertz refresh rate. When you have
Really?
phones that are like 120, 180, I'm like, why is a $600 cutting edge technology iPad still running at 60 hertz refresh rate? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I because people buy it.
Yeah, well,
People
they
will buy it.
they cheat their customers too, and we're getting on to that because before we get to Sony and their bullshit, Apple is cheating their customers. Like they came out with the new iPad Pro, and that thing is like over $1,200 for that thing. But they made it so all of the old keyboards and the Apple pencils and stuff that you were using for the older ones, they no longer work. So now you have to,
I was waiting for that.
yes, so you have to buy the new ones. And I'm like, okay, so now you got to spend upwards of almost $2,000 just to get all of this stuff, just to buy the same tab, because it's basically the same thing. It's got the same features as the last one. But hey, buy this one. And if you think you can use your keyboard and your pencil, well, you're wrong. You're gonna have to go out and spend $200 for the same keyboard again. And I'm like, and people will buy this stuff. I don't understand people. I don't understand. They,
Nintendo does the same thing.
of
Nintendo
course,
does the exact same thing.
of course they do. They do the same. Like they now, there's rumors of the Switch 2 coming out. I'm like, I believe it when I see it.
When
But
I see it.
but my whole point is, it's like this stuff is never gonna stop as long as people keep buying it. And I'm like, at this point, Apple is just a name brand. You're spending when you go and you spend, you spend money on these iPads and these iPhones and stuff. You're just buying the Apple name. You're literally buying the same phone.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And exactly. You are just buying the same phone. Again and again and again.
Yeah, well, maybe one new, at least when Android, at least with Samsung and stuff, they add stuff and they're innovative with theirs. Like they got the foldable phones and stuff, and I really like the Samsung Folds. I like the Z Flip and all that. That's pretty cool.
You like that? You like the flip phones?
Yeah, I like that.
Like,
It's pretty ill.
yeah. I remember the OG ones. The OG ones.
Yeah, I'm old, but yeah, I like that stuff.
Me too.
But every iPhone looks exactly the same to me. I mean, I can't tell the difference. Like, the iPhone is like Call of Duty and like first person style games. They all look the same to me. I could not pick any of them out of a lot.
No.
But yeah, speaking of companies cheating us, let's talk about PlayStation and their bullshit. You want to?
Oh boy.
I'm gonna give Kelsey the floor here.
Well, like the easiest one, the most recent one. Apparently, there's another recent one that Ken was saying, but like everyone's heard of this, the Helldivers thing that Sony pulled. So like, it's been available on Steam, right? Like it's been available on Steam and on Sony. So when you signed up, like it would say that like you were warned that eventually you'd need a PSN account, even if you were on Steam, to log in with it. And just recently, they attempted to implement that, which meant that all the people who had purchased their game who could not make like a Sony, like a PSN account, they couldn't play the game anymore. So what did they do? They review bombed the hell out of this, and everyone just like got so pissed and yelled at Sony, who just reverted it. But it's like, really, like you're driving people to revert it?
Um,
Like, man.
I mean, these are the types of things that you have to do in order to let these companies know. Say, hey, we're not going to put up with this crap. If you just continue to just
Exactly.
we'll let it slide, they're going to keep doing this stuff. And it's like to tack on to that, the whole Ghost of Tsushima incident. I mean, not incident, controversy. This game on Steam, in 180 companies, it was delisted specifically because PlayStation was playing the same bullshit that they're doing with Hell's Divers 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like having to have a PSN account. So now they're giving out refunds, pre-order refunds to Steam players, PC players who have ordered that because I mean you pre-ordered a game that's been delisted. And even if you have it, you got to have a PSN account to play it. Like what is Sony thinking with that? Like why would you I hate online only games anyways. But
Oh, I know.
why would you limit the player? Like if you buy a game, you should be able to play it any which way you see fit. And you know what this reminds me of when before the Xbox One was getting ready to come out, and they had all of that crap that they wanted to put on there, like you got to be online all the time, like
Oh yeah,
you
online only
you
stuff.
can't share games and stuff like that. Like they had all of these limitations, and people got pissed. You know
Yep.
when they saw that that ship was sinking like the Titanic, and people were going to the PS4. They're like, okay, well, we got to change that. We got to go back. But if this is the type of BS that they're going to play with this stuff, I will never buy another Sony console again. That's the
Hell
honest
no.
truth.
Hell no.
Because I mean,
Hell to the no.
I would be pissed off too. You talking about why do I have to have a PSN account in order to play this game? Are you serious?
Yeah, on PC, like fuck, I hate when they make you do like so many. You have to log into like 50 different accounts, or you have to like have like 20 different launchers and stuff. Like, please,
That's
like
bad enough
please.
as it is. I mean, all of
Yeah.
these games that I got here, like with Evil Within, I got the Epic launcher. With the Division 2, I got the Ubisoft launcher. I got Fortnite up there. And shut up, don't make fun of me. Not you,
I'm not.
but not you. But you know who I'm talking about. Don't make fun of me.
Yeah.
Fortnite, you got the what is it? That's the Epic Games launcher. You got the Steam Games launcher, and I'm like, you have to all of this crap. But I just don't know what they were thinking. If you're on PC, why do you need a PSN account?
You don't, so they
You're
can steal your data, I guess.
you're already signing to Steam, or you're signing to Epic. That should be good enough.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And it's like it's bad enough that the consoles they cheat the crap out of you because it's like you gotta have the account, then you gotta have what they got the what do you call those subscriptions, and even Nintendo does it. You got the subscriptions that you have to be signed to play online with some of these games, even though you have the internet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I hate that. I hate that.
And it's just like they
Why?
screwing people over with that. Pretty soon people are just gonna be like, the hell with it. I'm not doing it.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
so
No
they
point.
so they better fix it. They better fix it because Helldivers 2, I heard it was a pretty good game, and it would be pretty bad if the sales tanked because of this one stupid dumbass mistake that they did.
Oh, it was probably great for them. It was probably great promo for them. Like more people probably bought it. Like they probably made money off this controversy.
Yeah, they probably bought it for the Xbox if
Yeah.
it's even on there. But yeah, I don't understand that. Like I said, I was really wanted to get Ghost of Tsushima because I'm a fan of samurai games. But when I saw that shit, nah,
Yeah.
I'm cool. I'm cool. I ain't spending no money
Yeah,
on
no
that.
thanks. Yeah, no thanks.
I am not spending
No.
no money on that. I'm cool. Anyways, though, let's get on with this because I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. EA. EA had to come out like they normally don't respond to reports and all of these gaming websites about anything, but they had to personally come out and say that there is no validity to a Dead Space 2 remake.
Oh yeah, this.
Yeah, I mean after rumors, because they've been all of these gaming websites have been reporting that there was a Dead Space 2 remake in the works, but it's been shelved because of the sales of the Dead Space remake. EA point blank said that there was no Dead Space 2 remake, that never even was an idea. So the fact that the company has to come out and correct these guys is just, it's funny to me. Now, are they telling the truth? Game companies lie all the time. I used to work for EA security. So maybe maybe the idea was on the table and then they canceled it. Who knows? But, you got guys out here that reporting, oh, yeah, you know, this is what EA said on IGN. They said, we normally don't comment on rumors, but there is no validity to this story.
I actually know where that rumor started. I do know where that rumor started, actually. They sent out, like, sometime after Dead Space was released, they sent out, like, a survey asking, like, if you want, like, which games would you want to see being remade in the future or something like that? Like, what would you have interest in or something like that? And I think, like, Dead Space 2 was on that list. And I think people ran with that because I can remember, I hear all the time, it's not so big anymore, but I remember when it came out, people were saying, oh, they're remaking Resident Evil 5. And I'm like, oh, you mean that article that was mistranslated that said, like, oh, we'd be open? That someone retranslated, like, they mistranslated it from Japanese. I forgot who it was, some from Capcom. But they translated it as, like, we want to make, like, more uh Resident Evil remakes in the future. But like what he actually meant in Japanese, he said, like, we'd be open to that in the future. Like, we'd be open for the possibility. And people literally, I saw for weeks, people were saying, like, oh, they confirmed Resident Evil 5 remake. Like, they say they're going to make more remakes. And I'm like, oh my Lord, like, that's not what they said.
Last thing that I need. The last thing that I need. The last thing that I need is a remake of Resident Evil 5. I don't even want a Resident Evil 5
Right?
coaster. I don't want to see Resident. I want to see a Resident Evil 5 poster. I don't want to see Resident Evil
No,
5 socks. I don't want no more Resident Evil 5s. People need
you
to
would have to
stop.
see so much more.
They gotta stop throwing that crap out there. I don't want no more Resident Evil 5s. Enough. I don't want it.
I don't want but yeah, it's the same thing as the Dead Space rumor, though. Like, holy shit. Like, sorry,
And I don't even think Dead Space 2 needs a remake anyways. That's just my personal
it
opinion.
doesn't.
I think that it
No, it
holds up.
doesn't.
And it's like
Perfect.
with
Perfect.
with all of the issues that the remake had, I mean, do you really want to go through that with Dead Space 2?
No.
With the
No,
stabilities
actually.
and all that stuff. Hey,
Because that's no.
do you have my
No.
stream up?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want
Oh
you
my
to,
god, but I wait. Let me actually open it on my desktop. I just have you on my phone, but that's funny. That's funny. That's funny. I have to, yeah, let me pause you for a second. Let me check this. Let me check this. Let me see here, sir. All right. What is this? Go ahead.
yeah, I just want you to hear a soundbite. It's like every time somebody gives me the same BS argument about Resident Evil 5,
Everyone says it's fun with a friend, and that's literally it.
oh, I love that. That's my favorite.
Okay, that was kind of echoed, but yeah, everyone says it's fun with a friend, but that's literally it.
Yep.
That's funny. I never realized my webcam was flipped on your side. Anyways, yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's so funny. Yeah, that's it. That's literally it. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's fun with a friend," and that's it. That's all I maintain. It's fun with a friend. All right. That's
Well,
it. That's it.
well, do you think that they'll make a new Dead Space game instead of doing a remake of 2, or do you think that they're done for a while because the remake did sell kind of poorly?
Yeah, and like Dead Space 3 was pretty rough. Like I think they should just leave it alone. I think they should just leave it alone at this point.
Yeah, so you don't think that they need any new ones or any more remakes? Just let it rest because you got some gaming
Yeah. Oh
franchises
yeah, let it rest.
you don't really need to mess with anymore. Give it a
Yeah,
few years.
yeah. After three, like after three, which is like the five of Dead Space, like everyone's like, oh, it's fun with a friend. Like, thanks. Like, that's not why I want to play Dead Space. Like, yeah, everyone says fun with friend.
Are they saying that?
Exactly. You know.
Are they saying that crap for Dead Space 3 as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And I like
Co-op.
played it briefly with a friend, and it was horrible. I didn't like it. Didn't
There,
like it.
there's only one horror game that I like to play co-op. I'm getting into Dead by Daylight, and Resident
Yeah.
Evil. What's the Resident Evil Outbreak? That was fun.
I was just ringing that in chat. I want to port of Outbreak. I do not want a remake. I do not want anything else. Port it. Just port it to PC. That's all I need. Like, just port it with. That's all I ask for. Like, do not touch Outbreak. If there's any bugs or something, like fix them, sure, but port it. Just port it. That's all I want. Capcom, please. That's all I'm asking for you. Just port Outbreak.
Yeah.
I will. It'll be fine. That's all I ask.
I mean, they don't have to remake it, but they can scale up the graphics the way that they did the Tomb Raider
Oh,
one
they
through
can
three.
remaster it.
Yeah, they can do
Yeah,
a
they can
remaster
remaster it. Yeah.
and
No,
just
yeah,
release
but
that. Because that would be pretty fun to play that in today's
I'd buy
gen.
the hell out of that.
Open them servers
Yeah,
up again. Yeah, that would be pretty fun.
yeah.
Anyways, though,
There still are Outbreak servers.
are there really?
Yeah, you have to play on Japanese servers, I think, but yeah, you can do it in an emulator.
Well, yeah, that makes sense because the when you got consoles in Japan, like they got longer lifespans for consoles. The PS Vita, they kept it alive with their games over there. I mean, over here, Sony gave up on the Vita, which is a
Yeah,
criminally underrated handheld, and they were talking about. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't have any solid facts, but they are talking about doing another Sony handheld, maybe. And I would like to give it a chance. And I'm like, why hasn't Microsoft taken a stab at that either? Can you imagine
that's what I'm wondering.
a handheld Xbox One? I think that could work.
Yeah, that could work. That could actually work just fine.
Yeah, but I mean, if Sony does, because they gave up on the Vita too fast, and I'm like, man, when they stopped
Yeah.
doing support for that, and all you had to do is all you could do is turn to the games in Europe and in Japan. What can you do? You're at their mercy. And speaking of that,
Yeah, true.
let me ask you a question. What is, for you, when it comes to a console, what is the perfect lifespan for a console before you think it's time to move on to make a new console?
7 years.
7 years?
7 years.
So
Yes.
7 years, and then you would start making the new console. Why 7 years?
Yeah,
Like,
because that's for me, that's about the time that a 5 to 7 years. It's about the time that a desktop computer will become completely obsolete. And so there gets to a point where it now consoles have to catch up to PC, right? So for me, it's like 7 years. It will go from when, like I said, top of line PC now in 7 years is going to be at the end of its life cycle, right? So I am sure that once console tries to catch up, PC will once again be leagues ahead of it. 7 years. What
that's
do you
true.
think?
That sounds about right. I mean, the PS2, the lifespan for the PS2 is 12 years. Like,
12 years.
yeah,
Geriatric.
even when the PS3 came out, they were still making games for the PS2, and they're doing that now. I believe with the PS4, even though the PS5 is out, they're still making games.
Geriatric.
Hey, I mean, the PS2 was one of the best consoles they ever made, so they milked that thing to death.
Yeah, it's true.
But
That's
it,
true. They really did.
but at least the PS2 is still popping out good games because unlike the Nintendo Switch, You know, I mean, I'm sorry, not the Switch, the 3DS. And we talked about this before.
Oh yeah,
How many versions of the 3DS there was? There was just
so many.
way too many. It was like, you know, like a Street Fighter 2 game. Like you guys remember when Street Fighter 2 came out? They had the original Street Fighter 2, then they had the Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, then they had Street Fighter 2 Turbo, then they had Super Street
Yes.
Fighter 2, then they had Super Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting Edition, and I'm like, give me Street Fighter 3 already.
Right. They're reselling you like a slightly polished game over and over and over, over and over and over. You
Yeah,
know?
they used to
Yeah,
drive me nuts with that stuff. I'm like, just give us
they
Street
did.
Fighter 3.
Yes, they did. Like they used to give, and they like port it to other consoles, and then you'd get like 3 different versions of that. And then of course you get the greatest hits, and then you get like yeah, they would re-release so many different versions of the same game.
Yeah, it's insane. But these are the struggles that you have to go through, you know? Like I said, I just hope that and this is one of the reasons why I think that, you know, there's more validity to what you were saying about indie games. The indie game market is going to end up taking over. I think that
Oh, it
they're going
already
to
is,
be
I
the
think.
mainstay because they're not screwing people over.
Nope.
You
Nope.
know, they're
They
not
are
screwing
not.
people over. They're putting out good quality games for the most part. And you know, you're getting them at steady prices. Like Tormented Souls was pretty cheap. I didn't pay that much money for that, and there's no
No.
bugs in that game. I played through it with no problems, and I'm like, why can't the AAA companies do that? It's bad enough that they're bankrupt. You know, idea wise, they're bankrupt. You know, creativity, their games are pretty damn, you know, generic at this stage of the game, and they're selling us broken games. So I'm like,
Oh, I know.
it's not looking good for them. Something's gonna have to happen where they're gonna have to fix things.
They won't.
You
They
know,
won't. They really won't.
you think they're
Obviously, well,
do you think they're doing
mhm.
this stuff on purpose?
um yeah, like I think what's happening right now is they had all this money invested. It's kind of like so many other businesses. I think they had so much money invested into all of this like during during quarantine, and people are playing more games and stuff. I think they're like reaping what they sowed because they were so obsessed with monetizing like games as a subscript or games as a service during that time. Like they were probably making so much fucking money in microtransactions. Right, like they had to be. And so they were probably trying to grow, and I'm sure now they're reaping what they sowed for a
Yeah.
lot of them, I'm sure.
And now you got EA talking about they might start putting ads in their video games.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
And
Didn't Netflix just like do that recently? Didn't Netflix have it so you can have Netflix with ads, or you can pay more and have Netflix without ads?
yeah, I mean everything. Hulu has that
That's
as well
crazy.
too. Peacock has that. And you know, don't be surprised if when they start having tiers for video gamers too. When you got the PSN basic package where you get ads, or
Oh,
the
I
Xbox
believe
Game
that.
Pass, I know they gonna start doing that crap. I know it,
Oh, of course they are.
and it's like, you know, it's gonna another way to cheat the hell out of us because it's just like, oh, we want you to buy the premium package. And if they actually start putting ads in the video games, because that's one of the things that Microsoft was talking about doing before the Xbox One came out as well too, putting ads. If they start doing that crap and people still buy it, then you guys are dumb idiots. Like seriously,
Yeah,
you put up with that,
no thanks.
that's on you. I'm not even.
Microsoft is Mi-
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Microsoft is putting ads. They're putting ads for their products now in like Windows 11. Apparently, they're putting ads in their products, so like it's inevitable. We're gonna get ads in games.
Yeah, and there's nothing we can
Yeah.
do about it. You know, it's like I said, is you vote with your wallet or your purse or whatever you got on you. You know, when you come
Yep.
together, just like the whole thing when we were talking about Helldivers 2, when they came together, they were pissed off and it forced Sony to change it. So you got
Oh
that
yeah.
type of power. They can't make money if we don't give them money.
Exactly.
You know, so that's
No, exactly. But it's working.
it's true. And it's like, you know,
Working.
DLC and all that crap is always going to be around. There's nothing we can do about that. It's just, it is what it is.
No. It's true.
You know, it's
It's true.
BS and it's just something that we just got to get used to from this point on. That's the one thing I can say about Nintendo. I'm not bashing Nintendo and saying that they're bad. I love Nintendo. But I call bullshit when I see it. But Nintendo's not that bad when it comes to DLC.
No, they're not, thankfully.
It's
I can't even think of.
it's not too bad. Sony's horrible.
No.
Microsoft is horrible. Steam is horrible when it comes to DLC. If it was not for CD keys, all of these games here, I probably would have had a lot less games than I have right now.
Yeah, me too, buying Steam keys, right?
Yep, because with I'm purchasing Dead by Daylight. I've been on the fence about that game for the longest, but it's $9 right now on CD keys. So I'm like, you know what? Let me pick it up.
That's pretty good.
And you know I gotta pick up the Resident Evil one so I can play as myself. And that'll be the only character that I play in that game. They do have Heather in there, what they call her Cheryl. But they have a silent.
Yeah, I know. I don't like that.
You don't?
I don't like that.
Well, that is her name, no.
After. But like, okay, for me, it's just like everyone who has played like Silent Hill 3 first calls her Heather. But I can tell who played Dead by Daylight first because they call her Cheryl. Like, no shit. I'm not kidding you, because I want to be like, well, actually, Heather is Alessa and Cheryl. Actually, like,
See,
I'm like, she's not Cheryl, she's not Alessa either, but she kind of is both of them. So she's Heather. I know she wants to be called Cheryl after, but to me, you gotta call her Heather if you're putting her in like that form. That's it. That's all I have to say. If her hair, actually is just, but yeah, exactly. Like,
that's that's why I call her Heather, Cheryl, Alessa.
yeah.
In that order.
I call her Heather, but like when she does something I don't like if she runs into a wall or like she's not focused on something properly, I call her Alessa. It's like an insult. I call her Alessa.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can always tell who's who by who, if they call her Heather or Cheryl.
It's all kinds of craziness, but it is cool though. I mean, I've always been bad at multiplayer games. That's why I was on the fence about that game for so long. Because I'm like, now you know, Kennedy, that if you buy this game, you're gonna be twisted into the wind. You're gonna be destroyed in every damn game you play.
Oh man.
And I mean,
yeah,
I'm not trying to headbutt my PC, man. Paid too much money for that to build that thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I got a couple of friends of mine that play that. I mean, they live by this game, and they're like, "Oh man, it's so good, it's so good." And I'll tell you one thing that sold me on it, Chucky. When they got the killer as Chucky, I almost died. I was like, you're running around as a little doll, and you can see Chucky like this little doll.
So funny.
With a knife,
that's so funny.
Slicing people. I'm like, that is awesome. That's awesome.
That is amazing. That is awesome.
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna definitely give it a shot. Because the only other multiplayer game that I play is Fortnite, and again, don't judge me. I like
We
Fortnite,
won't.
man. I'll say it. It's my guilty pleasure. I like playing Fortnite.
It's fine. We're
You
not
know,
gonna judge you.
yeah. They'd be like, yo, you heard this fool, man? He said he liked playing Fortnite. What a little baby, man.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Nah, but
You're fine. They're the babies for having that idea.
I do enjoy that though. I enjoy playing that every now and again. Anyways, though,
Yeah.
let's move on because I know you got a lot to say about Tango GameWorks and all of these gaming studios that are being shut down by Bethesda and Microsoft and all of that.
Yeah. So so Tango GameWorks uh finally, like, I see the way that I'm saying it right now, like the way that I'm even talking about it is like some sort of mercy kill has happened to Tango GameWorks. Yeah, so Microsoft did what Microsoft has been doing for like 40 years, where they bought them out and shut them down. Microsoft has been doing this for Tango GameWorks. Microsoft has been doing this for, oh my god, it's got to be like 40 years now. There was even a Simpsons episode where they just do this so they can hold the IP. Um because if they let the like so if someone's selling like a whole bunch, like, like they're being successful and they want that IP from them, Microsoft will just like buy them out so they own that and then shut them down so that they can no longer actually like have any freedom with it, and there's no chance that they can like leave. So they did that to Tango GameWorks. I forget who else. They did that to a lot of studios.
I
That's
got
just Microsoft being Microsoft.
I got the list here of the four.
Oh, you got a list of them?
Yeah, of course. I'm always ahead of the
Yeah, you're
game.
more prepared. Yeah, I know. I'm
But
not.
if for those of you who don't know, Tango GameWorks, they created the Evil Within games. Evil Within, Evil Within 2. So that pretty much crushes everybody's dreams of there being an Evil Within 3, even though they put the kibosh on that years ago because of the sales of Evil Within 2.
Ugh,
But,
good
never say
lord.
never. It's just, but yeah, they did those games. So that studio's been shut down. They also shut down Arcane Austin. That's the studio that
What
did
did they make?
it's saying the Redfall games.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Really?
Yeah, they shut down that studio as well too. They shut down Alpha Dog Studios,
Okay.
and they also shut down Roadhouse Games. And you'll never guess why
Huh.
they shut them down too. Get this, they
Why?
they shut them down so that they can focus more on the Elder Scrolls Online video game.
Great.
The same Elder Scrolls,
Great.
the same Elder Scrolls Online game that nobody played and everybody abandoned
I was
when it
about
first came
I
out.
was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. Who still plays Elder Scrolls Online?
I played it like a few times when it first came out, and the servers were pretty much dead after that. I'm like, let's call it what it is. They're downsizing. That's all it is. All of these companies are just
Oh yeah.
they're releasing people, they're cutting people. Don't give us that bull crap. Talking about, oh, we just
Yeah.
want to focus more on Elder Scrolls Online. You better come up with a better excuse than that.
Yeah. Well, that's the nicest way they can say it's like we need more resources, and the most expensive resource we have is people. So, I think that's just how a polite way of saying that. But it's okay if Tango goes. Like, no offense to Tango. As much as I like kind of like I said earlier about the Evil Within, like, I have like a love-hate with that, like Stockholm syndrome. But anyways, like rest in peace Tango. I put this on my Instagram. Rest in peace Tango Gameworks. Like they absolutely could not write a coherent plot to save their life. They actually couldn't. They actually couldn't. Like they actually couldn't. I had that with like The Evil Within. Like what's that game about? Anyone? Anyone? Can
No,
anyone describe what The Evil Within is about in 2 sentences?
Nobody can. I beat that game God knows how many times, and when trying to describe that to somebody, I don't know if I get a brain fart and my brain just shuts down and I just can't explain it. It's like Evil Within is like that anime Fooly Cooley. I watched Fooly Cooley.
Fooly Cooly. I love Fooly Cooly.
I
You don't
watched
like
that.
it?
I watched it. It's cool, but I don't understand what the hell it's about. Like I literally watched it because when it used to come on the anime block, I used to watch every Saturday when they used to have, because I'm a huge anime fan. But I watched that multiple times and I would just sit there. And you know, when you watch a movie or you play a game and you're done, you beat it, and you're sitting there and you're like, what the hell was that even about? What the hell did I just play?
Right? What did I just watch?
I don't, Evil Within is just like that. And then with Evil Within 2, they try to pretend like the first one didn't even exist.
Oh, I know. I know. Even though the end of it was a cliffhanger. Even the end of the first game was a cliffhanger. Like, what's a cliffhanger?
Yeah,
Like, what is that?
Wasn't it with Ruvik taking over Leslie's body, I think it was?
Yeah. Yeah, and he's walking away. And that's never spoken about.
Yeah, they briefly mentioned Beacon and that's it, but they act like the thing didn't even exist. I'm like, well
No.
damn, other than a few cameos like with Laura, that's the only reference to
Yeah.
the first one. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's all they did. Oh, and I think they also had the keeper. I think you just had to fight the bosses really quickly from like the first one, which was
yeah,
like cool, but like it made no sense why they were even there.
yeah, and it's like you don't even hear nothing about Joseph at all. Like, I mean, like,
Oh no.
is he alive? Is he dead? I mean, I know that he's alive, but that's terrible
But
storytelling.
where?
That's terrible. Like
I know.
people rag on Resident Evil, but at least you can link the Resident Evil games together.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying the only thing you can link is like it's I have no idea what their intention was when they were making the Evil Within because like Sebastian's journal does talk about the events in the Evil Within 2, like when he gets married to Maya or whatever her name is and they have a kid and there's a fire and everything. But I have no idea what came first, like the idea of making Resident Evil 2 or just were those just like an actual like journal? I had no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea, but it just doesn't make sense. Like why are those why is that the plot point that you take? Like why are the two things that get the least amount of actual like plot and exposure in the game, which is like the STEM thing and him and Maya, and then they make it into a second game. It's like that has nothing to do with the first game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when Shinji Mikami, who was the director of Resident Evil 4, when he went to do Evil Within, I remember reading a interview that he did. Like he was more focused on bringing survival horror back, like bringing back the dark elements and making things scary. I think that's what he was more focused on than the actual story. And I think that
Yeah.
they sacrificed the story for that. Now, Evil Within is a dark, beautiful game, and I still play it, but you got to have somewhat of a decent story, something that somebody can
Yeah.
follow.
Yeah. I can't follow that game. I can't follow that game. Number 2 is worse because it trades off. Like it gives you like 20 different bad guys. Well, actually it's 3, but like it has 3 bad guys and it's like you kill one of them and it's like, okay, like, are we leaving now? Nope. Suddenly you're with another bad guy. Like, it's excessive.
Yeah,
It's excessive.
Evil Within 2, like it looks, it's a better looking game. The mechanics are better, but it's just there. It's a bland game. Like this literally,
Yeah.
to me, the villain in that game, he's lame. Now Rubik is convoluted and confusing, but at least he was entertaining to deal with.
Yeah. At least he was cool.
Yeah, and it's like Laura, even though she was a pain in the ass, I enjoy fighting over a lot of the monsters that you see in Evil Within 2, and then What the hell was up with that random girl that they just threw in there? That not the little girl. I forget what that girl's name is, but you meet her halfway through the game and she's like, some kind of.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, who the hell is that?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it just like I totally forgot about that section. You have to like go around and hide and stuff.
Yeah. All of a
Is
sudden
it that? Like what is that?
all of a sudden it turns into Metal Gear Solid. And I'm like,
Yeah. That is what it turns into.
and it's like it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad enough. It's like a Last of Us clone. If you look at it, it's a Last of Us clone. Like, come on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like the only thing, like
That's
it's
exactly what it
just
is.
loosely connected to the Evil Within because you got Sebastian's drunk ass, and then you got what's her name, Julie Kidman, she's in there,
Yeah.
and then you got Nurse Tatiana. That's the only thing that's tied into this. Everything else is just brand new.
Yeah. And loosely tied into like 90% of it is just like you're recognizable from the first game. Get in here.
Yeah, that's
Like
that's true, and it's like it leaves Evil Within 3 up in the air because I shudder to think what that game would have been like.
oh yeah.
I mean, what they had gone with a new character, or what they had. I mean, there's just so many unanswered questions
It
that.
would anything they did would probably at this point, if they needed to move the plot forward, it would absolutely have nothing to do with the original Evil Within. Like it would be so far and away that it never had like you know what I mean? Like it was so far and away that it will not match the Evil Within one in any way.
That's true. I mean, you mean like they would have to like revamp it and just do a new story, basically,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
spinoff.
Yeah. No Sebastian.
Like a spinoff. I mean, you could have Sebastian just retire him and just have somebody new in his spot. You could have Sebastian's daughter or something, or I don't know. But when you start going to stuff like
Yeah.
that, going to his
It,
family and
it's
stuff,
fair to just leave it. Just leave
yeah,
the game.
I'd rather
Just let it die.
keep it like just Evil Within and Evil Within 2 and just leave it alone. Because
Yeah.
you have games that don't need that many sequels.
It didn't even need it didn't even need like the a second one. Like it just needed to end at one.
Yeah, I believe, yeah, Evil Within 1 should have been it. There's other game series that I think would have, like Bayonetta comes to mind. I think that Bayonetta 1 should have been it. There didn't need to be 2 or 3.
Yeah. There didn't need to be. There's a lot of games that yeah, I can agree they did not need.
Yeah, but
They did not need a sequel.
they gotta try to milk it for all it's worth.
Yeah.
Never made no sense to me. But anyways, let's move on here. Now, let's talk about the video game rumors that you wanted to
Oh
talk
yeah.
about. So this is what
Yes.
I officially call now. I just thought of it, Kelsey's Corner.
Kelsey's corner. All right, we're in Kelsey's corner, like Coach's corner. All right, we're in Kelsey's corner. All right, no, this is all right. This is one thing that I've thought about, and we don't get this anymore. There's no way we're ever going to get this again because of the internet and because of because of the internet because it's so easy for people to just data mine games and stuff. But I miss video game rumors when you were growing up. You have so many video game rumors, like the classic, like Mew was under the truck. Like I know some of us had internet. I actually did back then, but like I would have never. I would have never. And then like the magazines used to have them too. I know there was one to like make your Dragonite turn into Yoshi. I think was an April Fool's one. And then of course there was like the Lara Croft, the one to make her nude, and I think the same with Samus. I forget what it was. The
Oh
Age of
my
Video Game
god.
Mysteries. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was though. That's what it was. There were like so many rumors about games that like if you it was the same with Pokemon. Like Pokemon had soulmate. Like, oh, if you beat the Elite Four like 100 times, this will happen. Or if you do this, this will happen. And I miss that. I miss that.
Yeah,
I miss
a lot of the
I
stuff
miss it.
was game companies being trolls. Like Ed Boon, who the creator of Mortal Kombat, he's notorious for that stuff. Like a lot of the characters that we ended up getting in Mortal Kombat, like Ermac and Blaze, like all of that stuff started off as jokes. Like, cause I remember before Ermac was even made in the arcade version, like you know, like when you're watching the arcade machine, you don't put the quarters in yet, and they showed a red ninja, and everybody wondered what that was, and they would troll us with that stuff. And
Yeah.
they did that
Yeah.
in Mortal Kombat Deception. They did that where they had you do a mission in conquest mode. They had you do a mission, awaken Kashal, and you would have to go through all of this vigorous stuff like fighting three different I think it was Cabal, yeah, Cabal, Cobra, and I forget Kira. Yeah, Kira. You had to fight them in these ridiculously hard challenges. And then when you get through that, they send you to the beginning of the level and you just get a chest of coins. So they had everybody thinking you're gonna fight this monster after you beat them,
Oh my god.
and they just send you back. Yeah, they like games will troll you like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, they would. They would, but then there were some things in games that like people found like 10 years later. People have figured like finally found things in games that like games everyone played and they were like, "What?" They were like, "What? Like how was that actually found like this, after this many years?" So like you knew that hidden stuff was out there and unlockables were also like a thing. Unlockables were also a thing, but like half the time you'd unlock something and you'd be like, what did I unlock that for? How did I do that? Which then begins like its own issue because Silent Hill 3 is the best one for me. Like, yeah, I miss unlockables. Like, Silent Hill 3 is a perfect one. Like, I wouldn't have known like to unlock the 5 different unlockable weapons. Like, you have to do different things. Like, one of them you have to like hit like 2 of them actually. I think you have to kill God with like a gun and then also with a melee weapon, and then they upgrade again, but like it literally just says like item unlocked and you have no idea what you did to unlock that.
Well, I mean, back then we had to go to the magazines. Like going back to Mortal Kombat, the finishers, like you had to find that out trial and error. Like the finishing
Yeah.
moves, the fatalities, they didn't have that where you could go look into the menu like the games do now. When you first picked up Mortal Kombat 1, you just didn't know them. If you didn't, if, and you felt like the coolest kid in class once you figured it out. It's like, yeah, man, I know how
Yeah.
to do Scorpion's fatality, man. You know, but
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
back then it
Exactly. And
was like,
now you can like yeah. Now you can pause and you can go into a move list and it'll just show you. It'll
that's
just show
true.
you the move list.
And
Yeah.
I remember the Lara Croft nude code because I was a teenager before. And I remember scouring the internet for that. No, Lara Croft, nude polygons. I'm
Oh
ashamed
yeah,
to say.
I know. Right? Like their magazines had that. Like, yeah, that was such and obviously like, yeah, you're a teenager or kid, especially back then, you'd be like, oh man, it's the greatest thing in the world. Which now you're like laughing. You're like, oh my god.
But you know what? They got us good
Funny.
there. You talk about trolling, right? Because they put that code in the magazines, like I think it was Game Pro, and that was one of the best
Yeah.
magazines. But they put that in there and they trolled us because when you put that code in, it makes Laura explode and die.
Yeah, yeah, that was mentioned in the chat here, yes. And that's so funny.
And then you got to start the level all over again. I remember sitting there, son of a bitch, why would they
Oh
do
my
that to
god.
me?
That's so
Yeah,
funny though. That's perfect. It's like a perfect way to handle that.
but they would always do that stuff. Like even online when they used to do like the Game Facts forums and stuff, people would put up like I think it was Resident Evil 2, the original one, when it was like, oh, if you go to remember the part after Marvin locks you out, he's like, he's
Yeah.
like, and then he
Yeah.
locks the door. It's like, oh well, if you stand at the door and you hit the door 50 times, and they'll unlock, and it has like all these weapons on the inside and stuff.
Yes.
And being a we didn't know any better.
Yeah, I know, but it seems so possible, right? Like that was always something. Do this like 50 times because you know what? It worked for the desk to get the
Yeah,
picture.
yeah,
You see. So you can't tell us that we're fools for believing that. You can't tell us we're fools for believing that when like sometimes that actually was a thing.
that is
Sometimes
true.
that was actually a thing.
And that wasn't the only time Capcom did that. I remember before we got Akuma in the Street Fighter games, like they chose. No, it wasn't Akuma. It was I forget what his name was, but the guy that trained Ryu, I forget what his name was. I think Shen Long or something like that. I think his name is.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Where
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
they were putting out this crap in the magazines and on forums. Well, you have to beat the game in this certain way, and then M Bison will get taken out. Then you got to fight him. None of that stuff was real.
No, none of that stuff was real. No,
And it's
of
like,
course not. Of course not. But you're damned if you didn't try.
yeah, the trial and error. Like I remember when the first Mortal Kombat came out for Super Nintendo, and it was more censored than all the other Mortal Kombat. They took out all the blood and stuff, and people are going around school. I know a blood code. I'm like, there is no blood code in the
Yeah.
Super Nintendo version.
No, no, the
Only in the
blood
Sega
code.
one, and I still remember that one for Sega. It's ABACABB.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah,
That's funny.
but yeah, we used to fall for it, and game
Yep.
companies used to have fun with us over that stuff. You know,
Oh yeah.
the
Of
NBA
course they did.
the NBA Jam games where they would tell you that you can unlock characters that are not in the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those were always fun, especially if they gave you like a really badly photoshopped in a magazine. Like where it's so obvious that they're not in the game, but you don't. But like you want to believe.
Yeah. But then
Yeah.
sometimes it's like, you get to that point where I'm like, I don't believe nothing. Only for the character to actually really be in the game. Like who the hell could ever think that Bill Clinton would be a playable character in NBA Jam?
Yeah, that's funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
That's hilarious. I would just mention chat. That's funny.
they had a lot of fun with us with that stuff, man. I tell you. Y'all don't know the era of trial and error where we just gotta
Yes.
mess around and find out.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I can't believe that they actually went with that. I mean, you're unlocking memories like crazy. Like I go back and think about that, like the whole the Tomb Raider stuff and all of that, and it's just wow. Being a dumb little kid, I tell you.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but I want to move on to something else because I want to talk about those people who talk down to gamers. You know them types of people
The
that
worst.
talk down on us and be like, talking out the side of their mouth and all of that, and just because I can't tell you how many times I hear that when I say I stream video games or I like to play video games. You have a lot of people, oh, that's for little kids. Oh, I grew out of that years ago. I don't know why you playing that. For me, my thing is shut the hell up because I play video games. I'm not out there running the streets. I'm not out there committing crimes. I'm not out there bothering anybody else. I'm in the
Exactly.
privacy of my own place. Leave me alone. I don't understand why it makes people feel so great to say, "Oh, you're a child for playing a video game." I'm like, I can say that, some of them are children for playing dress up and trying to pretend to be something they're not. You got grown ass
There.
women. You got grown ass women talking about they mermaids. I'm not saying that they're little kids for saying that.
Mermaids.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not bothering nobody. I play video games in my free time. I go to work. My bills are paid. What's the problem? And I'm
I
like,
don't tell anyone.
I got people that that I used to be friends. Oh man, I grew out of that shit years ago, man. I don't know why you still playing that. You get that from people?
I just don't tell people. I just don't tell people. I just like the people I surround myself with in my day-to-day life like are people who like would not have like any idea truly what I'm talking about. So like I just don't even I just and people are always like shocked and then like I feel like I have to like prove to these people that I actually do like video games, so I just never mention it. Same with streaming, I just don't mention it because yeah, people are fucking weird. I just don't, you know? I just don't even mention it because it's going to be so fucking weird. If I try to mention it to people who are actually game, they're going to try and be like, "Oh, but like do you actually play video games?" And then if I tell it to other people, they're like that. They're like, "Really? Why do you do that?" Like they're not people who would ever be like, "Oh, that's cool." My family is, but like everyone else, like I just don't tell people.
I mean, when people ask me what do I stream, I just tell them, hey, I stream video games, or we run a video game podcast. So it's like,
Yeah.
again, I ain't hurt nobody. I'm not doing. I mean, like, how is that messing up your day? Me, streaming video games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, but yeah, I just don't tell people. I just don't tell people. And I think it's just because the actual like rate at which they are my hobby. It's not just something I do, like it's actually my hobby.
Yeah.
And going with streaming, like I just don't I'm just not willing to actually explain it because it's once people are like, "Well, what do you do with like video games or whatever?" I'm like, "Man, like I can't even like if I explain this to you, you'll either like think maybe it's cool or you're going to think I'm an even bigger loser than what you think, so I just don't do it." Just dude, yeah.
Well, that's a question that I like to ask. Like, were you looked at as an anomaly being a girl gamer growing up?
I mean, yeah, actually, it was like I've always had friends who played video games, but I think just to the extent in which I play video games is I think the biggest one for me, and it's like I'm not even going to lie, like I think to the extent that I am into it, uh, I don't I don't think it's like I how's the best way to say this? I don't think it appeals to anyone sometimes. You know? Like I had guy friends growing up, right? But like I never told like guys that I was into that I was like really into video games. You know?
Why not?
Like I had like yeah, I never really do that. I never really do that. I just don't because it's just the rate and like the amount that I have like a hobby for it. Like
So you just
I don't.
so you just wait for people to just find your stream and enter the Kelsey verse, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds
Like if I
about right.
know you well enough, like maybe I'll tell you eventually. But like I keep that so separate from my real life. Like I keep streaming and gaming like so separate from my real life. Like it's something that I don't have to deal with anyone out here. Like I don't have to deal with anyone out here. Like none of them. Like you stay out of my life. You know. That's why I like it. That's why I
Yeah.
like it.
I mean, for me, I
But
work I work like hell throughout the week, and
yeah,
that's pretty much what it
yeah.
is. Like video games is a hobby for me. So like when I get to the end of the week and I busted my ass all week, it's my release. So
Yeah.
like I said, so I can clear out the stress and just relax and just be cut off
Oh
from the
yeah.
world. Now
Exactly. If
the
yeah.
podcast is like my second job now, so I have to treat it as
Right.
such. That is, I gotta be dead serious with that. At least until I can find other ways to relieve stress, like taking a sledgehammer to Resident Evil 5.
Oh my god. That's why I'm saying though, like if I didn't have like streaming, like I would not actually like be chill. I would not find any time to actually relax. I
But
would not.
do you have any other hobbies besides gaming?
Oh yeah, like I have a lot of other hobbies. Like I work out, I listen to music, I love documentaries, I love reading, like I love going out into nature, I love riding my bike. Like I have a lot of other hobbies that I do.
Got
Right?
you.
Um I do. It's just like this is the only one that like if I have like 3 hours after everything else all day, like I'll just do that and then I'm guaranteed it.
Got you. I mean, I do have other
Yeah.
hobbies. I enjoy sketching. I like to draw anime characters, stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Sometimes I'll sit on my keyboard. It's behind my PC, and I'll just play music on there. Sometimes,
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
watching. I do like watching documentaries, but I like reading books more. Like I'll sit down and
Yeah.
read like a biography book or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, to kill the time.
Yeah.
I enjoy writing.
Yeah.
Like I'll just sit there and just write stuff, write stories, things like that.
I can tell by your handwriting. I can tell by your handwriting. You have very neat handwriting.
No, I don't. My handwriting look like chicken
Yeah, you
scratch.
do. No, you've seen mine. My handwriting compared to your handwriting, like I send you notes and I'm like, all right, like I hope you can decipher this.
Yeah, I can read it. Like it's not bad. It's not as bad as you think it is. But for me, like mine always look pretty bad. But the more you write, the better at it you get. But yeah, I used to write.
Yeah.
I used to write poetry. I used to write all of that stuff. When I was younger.
That's cool.
And
That's
then
cool.
when you get older, life gets in the way, and then you move on to other things.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna get me a guitar, and I'm gonna teach myself how to play a guitar.
Oh, that'd be cool. If you play a keyboard, then you're fine.
Yeah, well,
really easy.
That's a whole different beast there. But those things like we always taught ourselves. Like my brother is the musical genius when it comes to both of us, because when we were kids, he started off on a drum pad, and then he taught himself how to play the drums. He got the drum set.
That's cool.
Then he moved on to keyboard. He taught himself how to play that. Then he moved on to guitar.
That's cool.
And he taught himself how to play that. Now he's learning to be a DJ. So I kind of followed some of the stuff that he did, like playing. One of my favorite things to play is Moonlight Sonata.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
But we learn by ear. But yeah, it's my whole point bringing it back around is just like again, I'm not hurting nobody. So what? I'm a 38-year-old man that plays video games.
Exactly.
Kiss my ass. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm gonna say.
Exactly. Yep.
I'm like, it is what it is. But anyways, though, yes. We are gonna have to call it here because we went through all the notes. But before we leave, remember y'all can catch us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Samsung Podcast, Pandora, Podchaser, Spreaker, Amazon Music, YouTube Podcast, and Apple Podcasts as soon as I get finished fighting with those guys to put us up there, because surprise, surprise, Apple's a pain in the ass.
Yep, they are.
But yes, thank you to everybody that came out to check out episode 4. When I get done here, I got to do a little bit of editing. And then once I push this episode out to, thank God for RSS codes, but once I push it out to the RSS feed on Spotify, it'll push it out to all the other platforms, so you guys will be able to catch it. And again,
perfect. Are you gonna stream after, Ken?
I think I'll give y'all 2 hours. I might jump on. On the Division. Yeah, I might do a little bit of Division 2. I'll do about 2 hours on there.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that on your stream, I'll kick everyone out over there.
But here's the thing.
Or send you like game still, yeah.
But here's the thing. I'm gonna have to end here first and then restart the stream, because I am not editing 5 hours of audio.
All right, go ahead.
But thank you to everybody that showed up. This was a very fun episode as always. We will be back in 2 weeks on Sunday. Not next Sunday coming up, but the following Sunday at 2:00 p.m. We have another loaded show for you guys. Thank you to everybody. If you have questions to send us, there's our email. There's our email right there, thehottakes@yahoo.com. Drop us some questions so we can answer on the show. Keep it professional. And thank you to everybody that showed up. And make sure your mothers enjoy Mother's Day.
Yes.
Kelsey, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, everyone else. Thank you, everyone else. I appreciate you. If you wait around, Ken's just gonna restart his screen, and I'm gonna raid out to him. So you guys get me for a moment. But yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate everyone. I appreciate everyone.
And just in case you ever listen to this, Happy Mother's Day, Mama Fearless.
Yes, happy Mother's Day, Mother Fearless. We love you. We love her.
And y'all take care. I will see y'all in just a little bit. Kelsey, you have a great day.
Thank you, Ken.
Y'all take care.
I will see you soon.
See you later.
See you later, Ken. Bye.